Chapter 219, Aggressive. This chapter is updated by novels.pl. The beautiful woman standing next to Jiang Tangai took a glance at Jiang Yuochen and the ninth commandery princess, and said with a smile, "It turns out to be two lovers meeting in the garden. Looks like we came without warning and interrupted them." The sixth prince let out a cold snort, bowed to that beautiful woman, and said, "Ms. Hanku, they are not lovers, but brother and sister." The ninth commandery princess and the ninth prince of Yunwu commandery. Hanku, the daughter of the master of Yuntai suzerain, was also one of the 10 beauties in Oman Ridge. Not only did she have a pretty face, she also had a great talent. This time, Hanku only came to visit the palace because of Jiang Tangai's personal invitation. In Yuntai suzerain, Jiang Tangai and Hanku were known as the golden couple. Many thought they would definitely be together in the future, and become the next pillar of Yuntai suzerain. The ninth prince. A look of surprise could be seen in Hanku's beautiful eyes. She peered at Jiang Yuochen and said, "Is he that genius, the ninth prince, Ms. Hanku?" "Yes, he is." The sixth prince bowed to Hanku with his face almost touching the ground. With a hint of flattery, he said, "Although the ninth brother is a genius, but compared with Miss Hanku and the seventh brother, there is still a large gap." As a prince, he saluted to others like a servant. Seeing the way the sixth prince acted, the ninth commandery princess felt very disgusted. Hanku smiled and said, "It is said that the ninth prince is the top one in western campus of the school of the martial market. He still stands out amongst others, though he could not compare to the eldest brother. Yunwu commandery has 2 talented princes at the same time. It's easy to imagine its rise in the future." In Hanku's eyes, Jiang Tangai deserved to be the top one in 36 commanderies in Oman Ridge. Even if Jiang Yuochen's performance was outstanding, he could not beat Jiang Tangai. This was the first time Jiang Tangai met Jiang Yuochen, and he was a bit surprised too. He had actually met this ninth brother for a few times, but none left a deep impression on him. He only remembered that he looked ill all the time, and always trailed behind Lin Ningshan as he really liked her. He never thought that just after a few years, the once sickly ninth brother had grown up. He was handsome, full of spirit and had an unparalleled charisma. There were no signs of illness anymore. "Jiang Yuochen, since you have met the seventh brother and Miss Hanku, shouldn't you come and salute to them? Do you really think that you have great cultivation? Then you can look down on elders?" The third prince scolded harshly. He was defeated in the hands of Jiang Yuochen and his heart was full of resentment. But he could not do anything to Jiang Yuochen. So, he could only suppress Jiang Yuochen's arrogance with the help from Jiang Tangai and Hanku indirectly. Jiang Yuochen walked over, cupped his hand and said, "Brother, Ms. Hanku, if there is nothing else, I'm leaving." Jiang Yuochen had no good feelings about Jiang Tangai. Knowing well that his ninth brother liked Lin Ningshan, he agreed to the engagement with Lin Ningshan and was ready to receive her as his concubine. Jiang Yuochen was not willing to make friends with such person. Calling him brother was already a great respect for him. Moreover, Lin Cheniu went to the black market to hire a killer to assassinate Jiang Yuochen. Jiang Yuochen suspected that Jiang Tangai was behind this assassination. After all, Jiang Yuochen and Lin Cheniu had no direct conflict of interest. There was simply no need for Lin Cheniu to spend so much money killing him. "Ninth brother, why are you hurrying to leave? We are blood brothers and haven't met for years. You are leaving right after we meet. How disappointing is that?" Jiang Tangai smiled, shot a glance at Lin Ningshan who was standing behind and said, "Ningshan, you should talk to the ninth brother. I remember he listened to you well when he was young." Lin Ningshan gently tapped her lips, looked at Jiang Tangai with slight awe and sighed inwardly. She walked out and said, "Cousin, all the princes and young geniuses in Yuntai suzerain gather here talking about how to deal with the black market and the moon worship demonic sect. You are a student of the school of the martial market, and also the eldest brother in the western campus. Don't you want to join the discussion?" Jiang Yuochen had just broken through into the Earth realm 1 month ago. The news had yet to be spread out. Everyone only thought that his cultivation was just at the stage of the completion of the Black Realm and he was still an external student. Lin Ningshan could not have possibly known that Jiang Yuochen had already reached the mid-stage of the Earth realm. Before Jiang Yuochen could reply, The third prince said with a smile, "Right, ninth brother, the heretics in the black market and the moon worship demonic sect did all kinds of evil things and they should be eradicated as soon as possible. I heard that not long ago your fiancée, the commandery Princess Yanjin had been captured by the evil warrior of the black market and was locked away in the Earthblaze City. A top talent from the school of the martial market broke into the Earthblaze City and rescued her. I wonder where they are now?" The sixth prince said, "I'm curious too." The commandery Princess Yanjin was caught and the entire Yunwu commandery was agog with rumors. Everyone knew about it. "Where were you hiding at that time?" "What do you mean by where he was hiding?" "Sixth brother, your words are too mean." The ninth commandery princess said angrily. The fifth prince, too, stepped out and said, "Ninth sister, you are wrong. It is true that Commandery Princess Yanjin is ninth brother's fiancée, but the genius Chen Yuo risked his life to break into Earthblaze City and narrowly escaped death before he rescued Commandery Princess Yanjin. Seventh brother also rushed to the Earthblaze City and wanted to help ninth brother to rescue her when he heard the news. But ninth brother, where were you at that moment? I think you were too scared to break into the Earthblaze City, so you hid away. A man like that is not even qualified to help carry Chen Yuo's shoes. I think it's better for him to break off the engagement with Commandery Princess sooner, so Chen Yuo and Commandery Princess Yanjin can be together. Don't waste Commandery Princess Yanjin's time." The fifth prince's words were straightforward and too close to the bone. Obviously, he did not care about the disciples of the Yantai suzerain who were also there. It was conceivable that these remarks from today would soon spread out and became a joke material for the warriors in Yunwu City to mock Zhang Yuochen. Knowing that this came from the fifth prince who was his blood brother, it was enough to make Zhang Yuochen lose all his standing and reputation. The disciples of the Yantai suzerain stood at the back and jeered in a low voice. Strange gleams appeared in their eyes as they looked at Zhang Yuochen. The ninth commandery princess was furious. If Zhang Yuochen had not stopped her, she would have gone and beaten the fifth prince, the third prince, and the sixth prince up. Zhang Tanggai's cultivation was so powerful that even the martial arts legends of the Heaven Realm were not his opponent. Zhang Yuochen did not want to involve the ninth commandery princess in this mess so as not to harm her. It was not easy for Zhang Tanggai to deal with Zhang Yuochen, but if he wanted to harm the ninth commandery princess, he only needed to use some means, and the ninth commandery princess would die quietly. Zhang Yuochen stepped forward calmly and said, "Fifth brother, how did you know that I haven't been to the Earthblaze City?" The fifth prince curled his lip and said with a sneer, "Have you been to the Earthblaze City? How come I know nothing about it? Your cultivation is too low and you are not familiar with the martial world. Of course, it is only natural that you don't know a lot of things." The fifth prince's expression suddenly flickered. Zhang Yuochen said, "After I was back in the Yunwu City, I have met with elder brother Chen Yuo. He is with senior sister apprentice Duan Mu now. As for the commandery Princess Yanjin, she should have gone back to the Yunwu City too. Fifth brother, you are not qualified to judge our matters in the school of the martial market." The fifth prince felt a little bit angry and said, "Ninth brother, you can't talk to your brother like this. I admit that my cultivation is inferior to yours, but you are too arrogant. Do you really think that you are already invincible among the younger generation?" The fifth prince obviously wanted to drag those disciples in Yantai suzerain into this and used them to suppress Zhang Yuochen. After all, it was not easy to carry the title of invincible in the younger generation. Even Zhang Tanggai did not dare to boast himself like that. But the fifth prince deliberately put the name on Zhang Yuochen. Zhang Yuochen was not originally planning to argue about the things in the past. But he did not expect them to push things over the edge. Even a mudman had a temper too. Besides, Zhang Yuochen was no mudman to be manipulated by others. Moreover, the fifth prince's remark was a devastating criticism. Once it was out in the open, it would put Zhang Yuochen at a disadvantage. The fifth prince, if you talk nonsense again, I will not spare you easily. Zhang Yuochen's eyes gave off a nicing air and were sharp like swords. Meeting Zhang Yuochen's eyes, the fifth prince's eyes hurt as if they were stabbed by a needle. Everything went pitch black in his head and he almost fainted. Zhang Tanggai put one of his hands on the shoulders of the fifth prince and infused a stream of genuine qi into his body. At the same time, He gave Jiang Yuochen a look of reproach and said, "Ninth brother, after all, fifth brother is our elder brother. Even if he offends you with his remarks, you shouldn't be so cruel to him. His cultivation is just at the completion of the Yellow Realm. How can he withstand your power? If you really want to vent your anger, you can take it out on me. I will not fight back." "Eldest brother, what are you saying? You are already wounded. Let the junior fellow apprentice take this for you." A disciple of the Yantai suzerain stepped out, stood in front of Jiang Yuochen and said with such great conviction, "The ninth prince, if you are really angry because of the things happened to Commandery Princess Yanjun, you can take it out on me. Please don't make things difficult for the eldest brother." Looking at those hypocrites, ninth Commandery Princess's body was trembling with rage. If Jiang Yuochen did hurt him, what would they say? They would definitely say that Jiang Yuochen was furious over the things between Commandery Princess Yanjun and Chen Yuo. Not only did he hurt his own elder brother, but also the disciple of the Yantai suzerain who came to stop the fight. The third prince, the fifth prince, and the sixth prince could surely do such act of twisting the truth. "Ninth brother, don't stop me, let me teach them a lesson," ninth Commandery Princess said. Jiang Yuochen shook his head. He clearly knew that Jiang Tangai did that on purpose to test him. Obviously, Jiang Tangai had started to doubt him, and even suspected that he really was Chen Yuo. Even if ninth Commandery Princess stepped in to stop Jiang Tangai now, he would certainly find another chance to test him again. If that was the case, there was no need to involve the ninth Commandery Princess in this.